So hello everyone, this is lecture 26 for the classical physics. In the last lecture we were discussing some questions based on Lagrangian. So today also we will discuss some questions, then we will go to Hamiltonian. So let's see one more question. If the Lagrangian is given in this form, half m dq by dt whole square minus half m omega square q square is modified to Lagrangian L equal to L naught plus alpha q dq by dt, then which one of the following is true? So we have given is four options. Both the canonical momentum and the equation of motion do not change. Canonical momentum changes but equation of motion does not, and it does not change, equation of motion changes, and both change. So which option is correct? So how you can check this? So first you need to find the canonical momentum and you need to find the equation of motion for the second Lagrangian, then you can check if it is varying with the first one or not. So let's see. L0 is given as this and L is given as this. Now in place of L0 we'll write this complete value. So L will be this, half m q dot square minus this, and means now L0 is this and L is this. So you will find the first PQ, that is canonical momentum. So PQ is nothing but del L naught divided by del Q dot. So this is Q dot. So this will give you mq dot PQ, and from if you find this new modified Lagrangian, PQ will be del L by del Q dot. Now it will give you mq dot plus alpha q, because here you have Q dot. Now see, this is canonical momentum, this is for the original Lagrangian, this is modified Lagrangian, and these vary from mq dot and mq dot plus alpha q. So this canonical momentum does not remain same. So this changes. Now let's check for the equation of motion. So how you find the equation of motion? The same d by dt del L naught by del Q dot. This will give you mq double dot, and same for this Lagrangian, modified Lagrangian, d by dt of this will give you this. Now find the del L naught divided by del Q. This will give you this, and del L by del Q will give you this. Now equation of motion will be, this will be subtracted from this. So subtracted this, mq double dot minus minus will give you plus m omega square q, and here when you subtract, this will cancel out and again you will get the same equation. So both are the same. So equation of motion will also remain same. Means equation of motion is remain same but the canonical momentum changes. So this B option will be correct. Now let's see one more question. Consider the motion of particle in 2D given by the Lagrangian. So Lagrangian is given and equation, what we need to find? Where lambda is greater than 0, the initial conditions are given as y at time equal to 0 is 0 and x at time 0 equal to 42 meters. So this is displacement and these are given, and this is velocity at t equal to 0, and for y and x these are equal to 0. So what is the value of xt minus yt at t equal to 25 seconds in meters? So we need to find this difference. Now let's see how we can do this. So first Lagrangian is given in this form, m by 2 x dot square plus y dot square minus lambda by 4 x plus y whole square, where lambda is greater than 0. Now this is the condition given, y0 equal to 0 and x0 equal to 42 meter, and this condition is also given. So these are the given conditions. Now we need to find xt minus yt at t equal to 25 seconds. So first we will find the Lagrangian equation of motion from this Lagrangian. So with respect to x dot and y dot, so we will separately will find the equations, then we will substitute here and we find this difference. Okay, so first we know how to find the Lagrangian equation of motion. First you need to find del L by x, del x dot, then del L by del x, and then d by dt of del L by del x dot. So for y dot and x dot you will find separately two equations. So for x you will get this equation, mx double dot plus lambda by 2 x plus y equal to 0. Similarly for y you will get this equation. Now from here you can subtract this equation from this, you will get m x double dot minus y double dot equal to 0. Now x double dot minus y double dot equal to 0. Here if you integrate this equation you will get x dot minus y dot equal to c1, some constant. Now integrate it again, you will get x minus y, some other constant c2. Now this x dot and y dot are given at t equal to 0. So this will give you c1 equal to 0, and x and y are also given. So xt minus yt at means this is given x0 minus y0 equal to, so let's t equal to 0. So for this will be 42 minus y will be 0 for 0, and x will be 42 for 0. So it will be 42 minus 0, so c2 will be 42. Now you have the general equation, that is xt minus yt equal to 42. So whatever the time it is, so this will always remain constant, that is 42 from this equation. So it was asked for the t equal to 25 seconds, so for that also the difference will remain same, that is 42. So the answer will be 42. Let's see one more question. A double pendulum of two equal masses m suspended by two strings of length L. What is the Lagrangian of the system for oscillation in a plane? Assume the angles theta 1, theta 2 made by the two strings are small, very small angles, and cos theta can be written in this form. So theta and theta 2 are very small. So we know for cos theta it is nothing but 1 minus 2 sine square theta by 2, and sine theta by 2 is equal to theta by 2 for small values. So it will give you this will the 1 minus theta square by 2. And you can use omega naught equal to under root g by L. So we need to find the Lagrangian ultimately for the double pendulum. So this is your double pendulum. This is your ceiling, and this is first string with this m mass, then this is second pendulum with this L length. So these are oscillating together. This is double pendulum. We need to find Lagrangian for this system. Now see, z component is 0. So we have two coordinates for this, two coordinates for this, and one constant for this, and one constant for this. So total generalized coordinates will be 2. So only theta 1 and theta 2 are required to give the Lagrangian. So how you can write this? So first for this one you will write x1, then you will find the x1 dot, that will give you kinetic energy for this, and same for kinetic energy for this, then you will find the potential energy, and the sum will give you Lagrangian. So let's see, let's say the coordinates of m is x1 x1 y1. So x1 will be L sine theta 1, and x1 dot will give you L cos theta 1 dot. Now this y1 will be L cos theta 1. So this is L cos theta 1. y1 dot will give you minus L sine theta 1 dot. Okay. So here it was your y1. y1 is nothing but L cos theta 1, and y1 dot will be this. Now the kinetic energy for this first particle will be x1 dot square plus y1 dot square. This will give you square of these, and sum will give you this L square theta 1 dot square. Now you have kinetic energy for this. And what will be the kinetic energy for, potential energy for this? This will be mg h, and h is nothing but L cos theta 1. So it is, if reference axis is on this plane, then potential energy will be negative, so it will be minus mg L cos theta 1. Same let's find for this. Let's say x2 y2 are the components for this. So x2 will be L sine theta 2 plus L sine theta 1, that will be your for this x2, and y2 is nothing but this L cos theta 2 plus L cos theta 1. So this will be your y2 component. From here you can find the x2 dot. This will give you this, and y2 dot will be this. Now square of x2 dot square plus y2 dot square will give you your velocity. Okay, so means to find the kinetic energy you need to find these components. So just to see, this is the simple maths, so you can solve this. This will came out to be this result, means this will simplify to this one. Now to write the Lagrangian, we need to find the kinetic energy and potential energy. So for the first one, kinetic energy was this. So this is half m x2 dot square plus y2 dot square plus half m x1 dot square plus y1 dot square minus potential energy mg y1 minus mg y2, because we take this as your reference axis. So this will be negative potential energy, that's why I have taken negative sign here. Now just substitute for x2 dot y2 dot from here. This whole thing, this one will be here, and for the first one kinetic energy will be this. So just I place these values, and then take the minus common from here. You will get plus mg y1 plus mg y2. So take the mg common, then y1 is y1 and y2, you know they are here. So y1 is this L cos theta 1, and y2 is L cos theta 1 plus this. So it will give you 2L cos theta 1 plus L cos theta 2. So this is your, and in place of cos theta 1 you can write 1 minus theta 1 square by 2. It was given in the question. And in place of this cos theta 2 you can write 1 minus theta 2 square by divided by 2. So that's how you can substitute these values, and this will be your Lagrangian. This is your answer actually. Okay, so this was the question, means you need to write the Lagrangian for the double pendulum. So that's how you can write this. So we discussed many questions based on this Lagrangian, so you know how to find this. Now when you write this Lagrangian in the more simplified form, you will get this 3 mgl. So this term can be removed from it, means you can change the reference. If you take the reference of this potential energy to be here, means L and L. So where it ends, means both of the pendulum ends here. So there you can take the reference, then you can check the potential energy, and then you can write the expression for potential energy. Then this term will be removed here from here. You will get this is your Lagrangian, only this one. So this term is came because of this reference axis only. So this is not a big deal, you can solve this. So today we will study about the Hamiltonian. So why we need this Hamiltonian, why this come into the picture? So remember, when we started the Lagrangian, we understand why we need Lagrangian itself. So because of some constants, we means there were some things, there were some constants because of which you can't solve the equations, means there were interdependent variables, so you needed some independent variables to solve the equations, and there were some forces which are unknown in nature. So you just simplified that form to the Lagrangian, where we just need the energy, and with the help of energy we can solve the equation of motion and we can find equation of motion. So that's how we simplified that. Now in Lagrangian itself, we get this kind of second order differential equation here and first order here. So sometimes it is difficult to solve this kind of equation. Okay, so that's why if we can convert this into a simple single first order differential equations, then that will be more easier to solve as compared to this. And also if we can write Lagrangian in this form and say let Q3 is cyclic here. Now whether there is not Q3, then but still there is Q3 dot, that is depending on Q3 somehow. So still we have some problem here in the Lagrangian. If we can remove this somehow, Q3 dot also, then our generalized coordinate will be eliminated or reduced drastically. Okay, means they can be reduced very much. So that's how, means to remove these two problems, to make this into a simplified form and to make this Lagrangian free of the cyclic coordinates, and means this component, to remove this component also. So we came to a new idea, that is Hamiltonian formulation. So he gave this formulation, the Hamilton. So what he did, he gave this formulation in terms of generalized coordinate and generalized momentum and time. Means the Lagrangian was in form of qi dot and time, but Hamiltonian gave this in the terms of qi, momentum and t. So how this helped us to solve this situation? Now in the formulation of Hamilton, we get these two equations as your equation of motion. Means now in the Lagrangian you have this complete equation, and in Hamiltonian you have this simple two equations of first order. So q1 dot equal to, or qi dot equal to del h by del pi dot, and pi dot equal to minus del h by del qi dot, del qi. So we will see that how we get these equations, but first I need to tell you that we will get only these two equations which we need to solve, and that's how we simplified the Lagrangian thing by converting into the generalized momentum. So and this thing means, now let's say this Q3 is not there, so it is cyclic. So for this cyclic coordinate we know P3 is constant of motion, this will remain constant. Now if you are representing in terms of momentum, then this P3 momentum is constant, so it won't be no need here to represent this P3 inside this coordinates. So see, with Q3 this P3 is also removed in the Hamiltonian's formulation, but it was not disappeared from in the Lagrangian, but it disappeared from the Hamiltonian, because P3 is not required here because this is some constant. So that's how you just remove this coordinate also, and that's how Hamiltonian is more easier and easy to solve as compared to Lagrangian. Now so see, these were the problems only, and we solved these problems, and now it is more easy. See, in the more advanced thing, we will see that there is Hamiltonian Jacobian form, where they just made all the coordinates cyclic. Okay, so that was some advanced thing, we want to study that. So in the most of the research, and you will see they use this Hamiltonian's approach because this is more easier. So actually if you see in the past, then this energy approach was more popular before Newtonian also, but after when Newton invented this force thing, then they studied all the things with force, and this came into again the picture, this Hamiltonian and the Lagrangian. And now in the times this is more easier thing to solve, the Hamiltonian and the Lagrangian. So if you need to find the Hamiltonian for a particle system from the Lagrangian, then there is this relation between Hamiltonian and Lagrangian, that is Hamiltonian of a system is defined as h qi pi t. So this will be equal to pi qi dot minus l qi dot t. So if Lagrangian is given, you can find the Hamiltonian, and same if Hamiltonian given, you can find the Lagrangian from this equation. So these are the most important questions asked in the paper. Means it will be given to you Lagrangian, you need to find h, and h is given, you need to find the l. So this is the main thing asked from this topic. So you must pay attention here, that this is a type of conversion. So we'll see this in more detail now. So let's see. to prove the results or to prove these Hamilton equations, so what can we do? So first we need to find the dH. So see, h is given in this form, so let's find the dH. So what will be dH? dH will give by differentiation of this will give you, first we will differentiate one, and then second use the product rule here. Then this will be, means Lagrangian is depending on these variables, so we'll find this as we know already by the chain rule. So dH is qi dot dpi plus pi dqi dot minus now Lagrangian is depending on qi dot and t. So del L by del qi dqi minus del L by del qi dot dqi dot del L by delta t and dt. Now see, this del L by del qi dot is nothing but pi, the constant of motion, that is momentum, and this is also pi dqi dot, so they will cancel out, and only these three terms will be remaining in the dH. Now let's say this is equation 1. Now let me tell you how you get this equation, this one equation. So this is a very simple maths, means from the legendary transformation. If there is some function fxy and you need to change the variable, means in place of y you need to change it to some v variable, okay. So this gxv function, which is depending on x and v, can be given by fxy minus yv, where this del f by del y, okay. So this is a simple conversion from these coordinates to these coordinates. So that's what we used here, because in the Lagrangian it was given q dot and t, so we need to change this coordinate q dot to p. So what we will do, we will do del L by del q dot, and that is nothing but p. So y is this q dot, and in place of p we will write this v, and v is nothing but del q means del L by del q dot, and that is p. So that's how you just converted h to L, okay. So that's how we converted, and we use that equation to come to this first equation. Now see here, in place of this del L by del qi, you write it this pi dot dqi. So how we came to this result? From the Lagrangian equation of motion, you know this will be equal to this, because this minus this equal to 0, so this will be equal to this, and this del L by del qi dot is nothing but pi, so this will give you pi dot. So del L by del qi is nothing but pi dot, so that's how I have written in place of this pi dot. So that is the result. Now see, h is depending on qi, pi and t, so let's find dH from here now. So dH is equal to, use the chain rule, del h by del qi dqi plus del h by del pi dpi, then del h by delta t dt. Now compare these two equations, means because this one should be equal to this one, so we just equate these. On the right hand side, this is, we use this equation, on the left hand side we will have this equation. Then we will take the common terms, so this is dpi and this is dpi, so qi dot minus del h by del pi, then dpi dot. Same, you will take this dqi common, you will get this term, minus pi dot minus del h by del qi, plus you will take dt common, then del L by delta t minus del h by delta t equal to 0. So you will get this equation. Now see, these are the generalized coordinates qi, pi and t. They should be generalized coordinate. Then all the qi should be independent of pi. So if you find something del pi over del qi will be 0, because they are independent of each other. I already told you what is the meaning of independence. Then this is nothing but, it's kind of equation c1 dpi plus c2 dqi equal to plus c3 dpi equal to 0. So to make these components independent, this c1, c2, c3 must be equal to 0. So it is considered in Hamiltonian approach, all ti, qi, pi are independent of each other. So this should be equal to 0. So this should satisfy this condition. So that's why c1, c2, c3 are equal to 0. Now we will put this term equal to 0, this term equal to 0, this term equal to 0. So we will get these three equations. qi dot will be del h by del pi, pi dot will be minus del h by del qi, and del h by delta t equal to minus del L by delta t. So these two equations are called the Hamilton's equation of motion, and this third equation relate the Hamiltonian will, I mean this is a bridge between Hamilton and the Lagrangian. So just remember these things. Now in the next lecture we will see some more things, means how we convert Lagrangian Hamiltonian and how it is useful to solve the things or the equations. So that's for today. Thank you everyone.